guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'd like to help you if you're getting started in car sales, and we're going to do it with another segment of Ask Anthony. Ask Anthony is a segment where I have real salespeople that I've trained, that I've coached, and I still train and coach, some of which inbox me questions. I read them live on air. I don't read them ahead of time, so it's not scripted. This is all organic, and you'll definitely be able to tell that it is. And I think it makes for a good foundation of conversation. So let's go to the inbox. This question is from Jeremy. Jeremy's one of my young wolves at the dealership that I still work with and train. And Jeremy says, to the dealership, what is the sales process? All right, Jeremy, great question. Great question. So every dealership is going to have its own nuances, right? We know that. Every dealership is going to do things a little bit different. Every manufacturer is going to require different things from their salespeople and their dealerships, particularly on the new car side. They're implementing a lot of different processes for new car deliveries, most of which are to increase the customer's experience, some of which I feel like are just a pain in the ass, but nevertheless, some dealerships will do things differently from dealer to dealer. But for the most part, when selling a car, you're going to have to do the same things throughout the road to the sale. And I'm going to give you those now. I'm not going to dive into detail onto how to do each of those. I think that'll be great for future videos. We'll break down each step. But for the most part, you're going to have to do the same things every time you sell a car. So the first thing you're going to have to do, obviously, is meet and greet your customer, right? You're going to greet your customer. You meet them, you greet them, and then a lot of times you seat them. Meet, greet, and seat. You meet them, welcome to the dealership, whatever you would say. I would say, let's say it was Anthony Mazzone Motors. Hey, welcome to Anthony Mazzone Motors. My name's Anthony, and you are? My name's Anthony, and you are? At that point, they say their name. My name's John. Hey, John, are you here for sales or service? Are you here for sales or service? So sales or service, I like that. Welcome to ABC Motors. My name's Anthony, and you are? Hey, John, nice to meet you. Are you here for sales or service? That's your meet and greet. We'll dive into, like I said, the steps in detail in future videos. But you're going to meet and greet them and seat them in most cases. Now, some dealerships, you hit the lot immediately. So it's meet, greet, and then maybe you hit the lot. You go out on the lot and you go to pick out their next car. So meet, greet, hit the lot, or if you seat them, it'll be some type of check-in process where they get checked into a computer system by a greeter or a manager, or even by yourself, where you add them to your showroom. If they had an appointment scheduled, you may go over their notes or their profile, and you kind of get to know your customer a little bit. You can do a full needs assessment right then and there in some stores where you print your guest sheet, you print your up sheet, and you actually go through the full needs assessment. Sometimes in stores that have either more subprime clientele where getting approvals is a little trickier, they will do a full needs assessment right then and there. They may even do a credit application to be able to figure out exactly which vehicles you should show your customer that would fit in terms of getting them the best chance of getting an approval. So that step happens in some stores, but in most new car stores, meet and greet, you get them checked into a system, you begin qualifying them very loosely. You don't really do the whole guest sheet. And then I like to hit the lot as soon as possible. I want them excited. They're coming in excited. Just think about it. And in today's day and age, most of your traffic is coming through an internet department or submitting leads. They're not just showing up to your dealership. They're not just walk-ins. So at this point, let's say they talked to John in the internet department. They told John everything they're looking to accomplish. They've been talking to John for 3 weeks. They make it in. They get greeted by Anthony, which is me, right? I'm the sales rep. Then they have to get checked in by, Jim, who's the sales manager or the greeter. And then, so they're doing all of these things, and all they want to do is just take a peek at the new Nissan Rogue. They're doing all these extra steps, so they are on a timer. They are starting to time out. You don't want them to get disgruntled. So for me personally, I would like for them to get to the lot as painlessly as possible and start picking out their new vehicle, get them in the ether of buying, get them excited. Right now, their wall should be as low as it's ever going to be because you haven't begun negotiating yet. So their guard's not going to be super up. You really want to take advantage of that, and you want to keep them excited and keep moving them down the sales funnel. So meet and greet, either hit the lot immediately or some type of preliminary qualifying process or check them in. Once you hit the lot, you're going to pick out their perfect vehicle for them, right? Once you pick out the vehicle, you're going to do a full product demonstration or presentation. Full product presentation or demonstration. We call it in the biz a hood and trunk. That's an old school term. It's tried and true. You pop that hood. If you're new to the business, pop the hood, pop the trunk, open the driver's side door. So open the driver's door, hood and trunk are popped. Start under the hood. Work your way around the passenger side. So clockwise, passenger side, all the way around to the trunk. And then you want to end up at the driver's side door so you can get your customer to sit in the driver's seat. You shut the door. You go around, hop in the car with them, and now you're all ready for the next step, which is the test drive. Go on that test drive. After the test drive, when you're done, I like to walk back towards the dealership. As long as they say that, yeah, that car is great, I like to walk back towards the dealership. As I'm walking towards the dealership, I'll test or trial close them, meaning I'll ask Jeremy, so Jeremy, if we could fit the numbers in your budget, would you take your new car home today, right? Some rendition of that, right? Some rendition of that. I don't ask on the lot when we're standing still, because if Jeremy says no, and if he doesn't have a trade-in particularly, and then I say, okay, great, let's go inside, he may say, well, why are we going inside? I just told you I'm not leaving with the car. It gets a little awkward. So I like to walk towards the dealership. Jeremy then follows my lead, right? He follows my lead because he feels as if this is the next step in the process. Then I ask him that test or trial close, that if the numbers were to fit within his budget, would he leave with the car today? Either way, yes or no. Okay, great. Come on, follow me. At this point, we're basically at the door of the dealership. When we get inside, I seat Jeremy. I seat the customer. Because number one, most importantly, I now have more control over the customer. At this point, touch base with your manager. Let him know or her know exactly where you're at in the process, what's going on, primarily so they can watch the customer as well. In case he tries to bolt or she tries to bolt on you and leave, they have some eyes on the customer and they know exactly what's going on, where you're at in the process. So touch base with your manager. At this point, if you haven't done a thorough needs assessment and extracted that data in the form of a guest sheet, you're going to do that now. You're going to sit down, and if they have a trade-in, the best way to sell somebody their next car is to find out how they bought their last one. And you'll be better prepared to sell them their next car. Find out if they're financing or leasing, how much money they put down, and use that to start to map out how this next deal is going to be structured. Get your customer to sign at the bottom of the guest sheet or the up sheet or up ticket, whatever you call it. Get them to sign that if the numbers are agreeable, they will buy and drive home that vehicle today. The more times they sign their name, the more committed they are to doing business today. You also show them that they're important, that their signature or their initials holds weight. It empowers them. It makes them feel important. So get them to sign something. You're going to go up to your managers. They're going to work up the numbers for you. You're either going to present the numbers yourself, or maybe a manager does, depending on your store or maybe your experience level. Present those numbers. The most important thing you can do when presenting numbers to your customer, is getting them to commit to do business today at some scenario. Close at a commitment to do business today. I'll give you, just think about it this way. Let's say you're working up numbers for your customer and they're going to lease the car, and with $3,000 down, you're $800 per month. And they said, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, go home. I think we could swing that and we'll think it over. So you got a maybe, right? You got a maybe at $3K down, $800 a month. I'd rather have a yes at $1K down, $700 a month than a maybe at $3K down, $800 a month. I'd rather have 80% of something than 100% of nothing. Don't be afraid to give up gross profit on a customer that's not committed to do business today anyway. Close at a commitment to do business today. Even if the numbers are much lower than what your manager gave you, that's fine. Bring it up to your manager and they'll decide how to go from there. They'll either have a manager come in and TO the deal, turn over the deal, try to close the deal for you, which isn't a knock on you. It's just another face to kind of add validity to the numbers, or they'll do it themselves, or they'll send you back with different numbers. But when you present numbers, your number one goal 100% of the time is to get your customer to say, yes, I would leave today with this vehicle at these said numbers. That's your goal. And from there, at least we have a commitment and we can go from there. With no commitment, we have nothing. We have nothing to grab onto. We're running a race with no finish line. So get them to commit to do business today. Excuse me. At some point, you'll do a credit application. If it's a subprime store primarily, you'll do it beforehand. Or if the customer told you that they are credit challenged, you might peek at the credit before all of this or maybe in the middle of this. Then you'll do a credit application. If the customer says they're a bullet, meaning their credit's great, you'll do the credit application in most cases after they agree to the numbers, or I like to keep that credit app not literally in my back pocket, but figuratively in my back pocket. If I run into a dead end when negotiating, I may say to the customer, hey, listen, we haven't run your credit yet. Let's take a peek at it, and maybe we can fine tune the numbers a little more specific to help us get to where you're looking to be. I use that as an out if I kind of feel like I'm running out of room and I don't know where to go, right? So at this point, if you close at a commitment to do business today, credit checks out fine. Now you're going to prepare for delivery. You're going to start printing out your paperwork. You're going to get your vehicle back to the detail department to get it all cleaned up, get it gassed up, right? You're going to start printing out some of your preliminary paperwork. Every store has a different process, but you're going to get the customer ready for the F&I department to get them signed up and leave with their new vehicle. Once the vehicle's back from the detail department, you're going to go over the vehicle with the customer, make sure that it's in perfect condition, and then you're going to start to go over some of the features of the vehicle that you didn't do maybe during your product demonstration. And you could start setting their preset radio stations, preset frequent locations or their home address and their GPS, start to get them all set up, their memory seats, and really get them comfortable with their vehicle. Your goal between the handshake, the congratulations, they say yes, they're committed to leaving with the car and we have a deal, and them actually taking delivery, is to fill that gap of time so it feels as if they're not really at the dealership as long as they are. You want to restart that clock every 10 or 15 minutes with another thing for your customer to do to move them closer to the F&I office. And let's say you have 10 things to do with your customer between the time you get ready for delivery and by the time they go into finance. You don't want to do all 10 in the first 20 minutes and then they sit for 2 hours, 3 hours. You break it up. You restart that clock. Every 10, 15 minutes, you do one more thing. There's plenty to do. Just be strategic in the way you fill that time. And as you start to get a feel for the business a little more, if you're new, you'll start to get a feel for how long certain things take. And you'll eventually, it'll be muscle memory. You'll start to kind of fill that time period in a way where the customer doesn't feel like they're there for too long. At this point, after you're getting the vehicle ready for delivery, you start doing your paperwork, you're going to get them ready for the F&I department. Now, some dealerships will make the salesperson present back-end finance products such as warranty or gap insurance, tire and wheel, and all of the back-end products. You may present it. You may try to close them. You may just plant the seeds in the form of presenting or providing a menu to your customer to kind of see the products that they are going to be going over in finance. So some stores do that. At that point, they go into the finance department. When they leave, you meet them at the finance office, walk them out to their new vehicle, get them all ready to leave. And as they leave, I always like to, as a salesperson, stay right exactly there, wherever they're leaving the dealership from, and never go back inside until they're out of my line of sight. I didn't want the customer to look back and not see me there. That was just, my thing. I didn't want them to think, all right, Anthony's on to the next customer now. I'm just a number. So I kind of wave them off like a kid getting on the school bus, leaving for school. I wave them off, and then I go back inside. And that's pretty much the sales process. There will be certain things you have to do afterwards. Maybe, parking their trade-in, stickering it up, putting different stickers on the trade-in, do not sell stickers and buyer's guide, stuff like that. Putting tags on the trade-in keys. And there may be some other things that you have to do in your store as well. But at that point, they've successfully taken delivery of the vehicle. Now, you've already should have planted seeds and gone over with your customer. If you do have surveys in your store, the importance of the customer survey, you're going to follow up with them. I used to always love to leave a voicemail on my customer's home answering machine. Now, a lot of people don't use home phones anymore. Leave a voicemail on the home answering machine. So when they got home, they seen that little red light flashing and they picked up, they listened to the message, and it was already me thanking them for coming in. I would definitely advise you in this day and age, shooting a text or giving a call later on, thanking them again. Then you follow up with them the next day as well, see how everything's going. You're going to follow up with them, I would say, the next week and ask them what their friends and family thought of the vehicle. And then I like to follow up with them every 30 days. 90 days out, you can follow up and see if they would like for you to schedule their service appointment for them. Every time your customer comes to the dealership, you should know about it. You should want to know about it. Yes, it may mean a little more work for you to schedule appointments or answer any questions, but that's how you build loyalty with your customer. Imagine, would you want them to walk into your house and you not know they're there? That's your home. The dealership's your home. Every time they're there, you should know about it. It's another opportunity to solve any problems for them that they may have, which is going to build in that sense of loyalty and reciprocity from them, and another opportunity to get some referrals from them. So I think that was a broad, painting of the sales process. Hopefully that gave you a little insight. There is some nuance, but in future videos, we're going to go over all the steps in detail. And as you continue to do these steps, you'll eventually become an expert at them. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.